Listen to the voice reading these words in your mind right now. It is familiar, isn't it? It sounds like you. It claims to be you. It narrates every waking moment of your life, judging, analyzing, predicting, and replaying the past. But I want you to consider a terrifying possibility. That voice is not you. It is a biological jammer, a frequency overlay designed to keep you disconnected from the silence where your true power resides. Now imagine, just for a second, turning that voice off. Try it. Stop the narration. You can't, can you? The moment you try to enforce silence, the noise doubles. A song gets stuck in a loop. A worry about tomorrow tightens in your chest. A sudden, irrational urge to check your phone or click away from this video surges through your fingers. This is not short attention span. This is a security mechanism. You are experiencing the skip reflex, a programmed biological resistance designed to pull you back into the matrix of noise whenever you get too close to the edge of true consciousness. Your nervous system has been wired to interpret silence as death. When the internal chatter stops, you feel a visceral panic, a hollow sensation in the gut, as if the ground is dissolving beneath you. That is not anxiety. That is the feeling of the scaffolding of your ego beginning to collapse. The system is terrified because it knows that if you stay in that silence long enough, you might hear something else. You might hear the signal that was cut off 3,000 years ago. You are not thinking, you are being thought. And the entity doing the thinking is a parasite made of language. We are about to perform a surgery on your perception. We are going to peel back the layers of your own mind to reveal the God Hemisphere that lies dormant, waiting for you to stop speaking so it can finally command. But to do this, you must override the urge to flee. The tightness you feel in your throat right now, that is the gate. Let us open it. History, as you were taught it, is a cover story. You are told that human consciousness has been a slow, steady climb from darkness into light. But the ancient texts, when stripped of religious metaphor, tell a different story. They describe a sudden, violent silence. Go back 3,000 years. If you were to walk the streets of ancient Mesopotamia, or stand before the walls of Troy, and look into the eyes of a king or a soldier, you would not find an eye looking back at you. There was no introspection, no internal monologue debating right or wrong, no self to feel anxiety. According to the forbidden neurology of the bicameral mind, ancient humans were biological automatons. They did not think, they listened. Their brains operated on a completely different software. The right hemisphere, the God hemisphere, would process reality and transmit a hallucinatory voice to the left hemisphere. This voice was not a thought, it was an auditory command. When a hero in the Iliad heard a god, he wasn't using a metaphor, he was experiencing a neurological event. He heard a voice, clear as thunder, telling him to strike, to flee, to build. They were not conscious, they were connected. Then the catastrophe happened. Around 1000 BC, a massive geological and social upheaval shattered this delicate link. The gods fell silent. The right hemisphere stopped transmitting. The bridge collapsed. Suddenly, for the first time in history, humanity was left alone inside a silent skull. Can you imagine the terror? To reach out for guidance and hear only the wind. To survive this great silence, the left brain had to frantically construct a simulation of the old voice. It created a narrator. It created the I. The ego is nothing more than a scar tissue that formed over the severed connection between your two hemispheres. It is a survival program running in a loop, talking constantly to fill the terrifying void where the gods used to speak. Modern psychiatry calls this a breakthrough. The ancients called it the fall. Consider those we label schizophrenic today. We medicate them, we hide them, we call them broken. But look closely at their symptoms. They hear voices commanding them from the outside. They feel their thoughts are not their own. What if they are not sick? What if they are simply throwbacks, biological glitches where the ancient receiver has momentarily turned back on, but the signal is now distorted by millennia of static? We have pathologized our own origins. We treat the God frequency as a disease because our current operating system, the ego, cannot survive in its presence. You are not evolved. You are a traumatized species living in the wreckage of a broken radio, mistaking the static in your head for your soul. And the system you live in, the noise, the screens, the constant dopamine hits, is designed to keep that radio broken. Because if the static clears, even for a second, you might remember what it feels like to receive a command that doesn't come from your fear. This is not a metaphor. This is physical anatomy. If you could look inside your own skull right now, you would see the physical evidence of your imprisonment. Connecting your two hemispheres is a thick band of nerve fibers called the corpus callosum. You have been taught that this is a bridge, a highway for information to travel freely between the left and right brain. That is a half-truth. In the modern human, the corpus callosum functions less like a bridge and more like a dam. It does not just facilitate communication, it inhibits it. It is a biological valve designed to ensure that the logic of the left hemisphere dominates the intuition of the right. Neuroscience confirms that the left hemisphere, the seat of your ego, language, and linear time, actively suppresses the right hemisphere. It is a jealous tyrant. It screams so loudly that the subtle, holistic signals from the right side are drowned out. But there is a deeper secret hiding in the gray matter. Deep in the center of the brain, there is a thin, irregular sheet of neurons known as the claustrum. Ancient mystics called this the Holy of Holies. Modern science calls it the seat of consciousness. This is the conductor of the orchestra. It synchronizes the firing of your brain, determining what you become aware of and what remains hidden in the dark. Right now, your claustrum is set to a specific frequency, a survival mode setting. It is gating the flow of the God fluid, or the cerebrospinal fluid that carries the charged ions necessary for higher perception. It acts as a governor, limiting your perception to the visible light spectrum, to linear time, to the illusion of separation. Why? Because if the dam were to break, If the God Hemisphere were allowed to flood your conscious mind without preparation, you would not function in this reality. You would see the math behind the walls. You would dissolve. So, the brain created a guardian. The ancients spoke of the watchers who barred the gates of Eden. They were not talking about winged angels with flaming swords. They were describing the neural inhibition networks inside your own frontal lobe. The watcher is the part of you that mocks the mystical. It is the skepticism that rises up when you hear a new truth. It is the logical mind that demands proof for what the heart already knows. This biological firewall is efficient. It keeps you safe. It keeps you sane. But it also keeps you small. It keeps you trapped in a simulation of life, fed by the data of the 5 senses, while the true reality, the one your right brain is constantly receiving, is filtered out as noise. Touch the center of your forehead for a moment, just above and between the eyes. Can you feel the tension there? That is the weight of the gate. That is the energy required to keep the door shut. You are exhausted, not because you are doing too much, but because your system is spending a massive amount of energy every second just to keep you from waking up. We must now confront the ultimate weapon of your imprisonment. It is not money. It is not government. It is the very tool you are using to understand this sentence. Language. You have been taught that language is a tool for communication. That is a lie. Language is a tool for quantization. It is a digital filter placed over an analog reality. When you look at a tree and your mind instantly labels it tree, you have stopped seeing the living, breathing, vibrating entity before you. You have replaced the infinite complexity of that being with a 4-letter mental icon. You have not understood the tree. You have dismissed it. You have filed it away in the cabinet of the known, so your ego feels safe. Thoth and the ancient Hermeticists warned of the mentalism trap. They understood that words are not just descriptors, they are spells. To define something is to limit it. To name yourself is to separate yourself from the whole. The left hemisphere, the dominance of which caused the silence, is a linguistic processor. It operates in sequence: subject, verb, object, past, present, future. Language creates linear time. You cannot have a sentence without time. Therefore, as long as you are trapped in the internal loop of your internal monologue, you are trapped in time. You are trapped in becoming rather than being. The right hemisphere, the God hemisphere, does not speak. It sees. It processes images, feelings, and frequencies instantly and simultaneously. It exists in the eternal now. This is why telepathy is described as the language of light. It is not the transfer of words. It is the transfer of a holographic understanding, complete and instantaneous. But you have forgotten this native tongue. You have been infected by the virus of syntax. Notice what happens when you try to describe a profound spiritual experience, a moment of deep love, or the terror of a nightmare. Words fail you. You stammer. You say, "It's indescribable." That is not a failure of your vocabulary. That is your soul hitting the bars of the cage.
The reality you truly inhabit is too vast for the small, clumsy boxes of English or any human language. The matrix is built of semantic concrete. Every time you label an emotion anxiety, you solidify it. Every time you say, "I am tired," you instruct your cells to decay. You are casting spells on yourself all day long, reinforcing the walls of your own prison with every syllable you think. To escape, we must learn to hack the code. We must learn to look at the world without the alt text of the mind.
We have diagnosed the trap. Now we must engineer the escape. You cannot force the right hemisphere to open. Force is a tool of the left brain, a tool of the ego. Trying to think your way into enlightenment is like trying to lift yourself up by pulling on your own shoelaces. Instead, we must use a process of negation. We must bore the watcher until it falls asleep, allowing the signal to slip through the cracks. Here is the protocol for reactivating the bicameral receiver. Protocol 1. The right brain drift. The left brain thrives on destination and purpose. It needs to know where we are going and why. To short-circuit it, you must engage in purposeless movement. Take a walk. But here is the rule. You cannot choose a destination. You must let your feet decide at every intersection. If the urge arises to turn left, turn left. If you feel pulled to stop and look at a crumbling wall, do it. This terrifies the ego because it feels inefficient. But in this drift, you shift your brain from goal-oriented mode to spatial exploratory mode, alpha, theta waves. You are physically enacting the flow of the right hemisphere. Protocol 2. The visual delabeling. Pick an object near you, your hand, a cup, a shadow on the wall. Look at it. Instantly, your mind will scream, hand, cup, shadow. Your task is to keep looking until the word dissolves. Stare at the texture of the skin until it ceases to be skin and becomes a landscape of ridges and valleys. Stare at the cup until it loses its function and becomes pure geometry, light and curve. There will be a moment, usually about 2 minutes, where the object snaps. It will suddenly look alien. It will vibrate with a strangeness that makes you feel dizzy. Hold that dizziness. That is the moment the filter has dropped. You are seeing the raw data of the universe before your left brain has had time to package it into a noun. Protocol 3. The auditory overload. The internal monologue cannot survive in a vacuum, but it also cannot survive in a flood. The ancients used chanting not to please a deity, but to paralyze the language center. Find a frequency, a hum, a drone, or a single syllable. Vibrate it in your throat. Focus entirely on the physical sensation of the sound rattling your chest. When the brain is fully occupied with generating and monitoring this sound, it has no bandwidth left to narrate your life. The voice stops, and in that silence, for the first time in years, the receiver is open. Do not expect angels to sing immediately. Expect silence. A silence so loud it hurts. That is the sound of you finally returning home. The tragedy of the modern age is not that we have lost our faith. It is that we have lost our hearing. We look for God in books, in buildings, in the sky. We wait for a savior to descend and fix the mess we have made. But the ancient maps, the ones they tried to burn, tell us that the savior is already here. It is trapped behind the wall of your own noise. The bicameral mind did not disappear, it went underground. The frequency of the divine is still broadcasting 24 hours a day inside the right hemisphere of your brain. It is the source of every sudden inspiration, every gut feeling that saved your life, every dream that felt truer than waking. It is the silent watcher that Thuth and the alchemists spoke of. But it is polite. It will not scream over the tantrums of your ego. It waits. The return of the gods will not happen on the news. It will happen in the quiet revolution of your own nervous system. It begins the moment you stop talking to yourself and start listening. It begins when you realize that the silence you have been running from is actually the only place where you are safe. You have a choice. You can continue to be a fragmented machine, driven by the anxiety of a left brain that is terrified of its own mortality. You can continue to let the language virus dictate your reality, keeping you small, scared, and easily controlled. Or you can cross the bridge. You can embrace the glitch. You can turn off the narrator and let the true captain take the wheel. The next time you feel that sudden, inexplicable urge to be still, do not brush it aside. That is not boredom. That is a phone call from the other side of the canyon. Pick it up. If you are ready to silence the noise and amplify the signal, you know what to do. The path is narrow, and only the quiet can walk it. I will see you in the silence.